Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Isabel. I'm a psychic medium and spiritual teacher, and today I'm starting a new series on the correlation and the connection between your physical health and your intuitive ability. Something that has been really close to my heart for a very long time, and this is exactly why I am creating this series, is because I have always kind of had that itch of okay, I wonder how, if I was working at more of an optimal level, meaning my body, how would that actually affect my readings? And you always hear that when people are going through spiritual awakenings or they're developing their spiritual abilities, that they go through these diet changes. They might start eating healthier and stuff. And that's all because it helps kind of clear that channel when you connect. But I'm not going to get too woo-woo on you guys today. This kind of really made me reflect on a book that I read from John Holland. I cannot remember the name of it right now off the top of my head, but I'll post it here in the video. I'll just give you the title and what the book looks like or something like that. But he said that your body is your psychic equipment. So you are your psychic equipment. You don't need to really look outside yourself. You don't really need all these tools. And you only get one body, so you need to take care of it, right? And I feel like that's common for a lot of things. But if your nervous system, your brain, and your energy levels are off, it really does directly impact how clearly you receive intuitive information. And now I do know this. There have been times where I was feeling a lot more clear-minded and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do a reading. It's going to be so great. Those days, of course, I didn't have a reading, but I've even done readings where I was in the trenches and I was definitely feeling low energy and I might have had some brain fog going on there, and I was still able to give a pretty good reading. So I was thinking, I was like, wow, if I really take care of my health and I really get things back on track, how will my readings start to come off then? Like, how will the information that I'm receiving come out? So that's kind of what I'm experimenting. So this is kind of be like a little bit of a case study, a little bit of a lifestyle vlog, I guess you can say. I'm not going to make this part of my podcast. This is just going to be strictly like YouTube videos. So, why I'm going so deep into the health concept of this is actually leading back to last year. I decided to go to my family doctor. I got some blood work done, and because of insurance limitations, they were only able to test me for a few markers within my health. And within that test, it did show that I had elevated cholesterol levels, that I was anemic, which I did kind of know already, and that my A1C was literally 1 point away from being pre-diabetic, which kind of scared me. And throughout my pregnancies, I did have gestational diabetes in both my pregnancies, so I never got it checked after my pregnancy, postpartum. I waited like 3 years and then I decided to do this blood test and got it checked, and I was like, holy crap. So I tried addressing these things on my own. I did diet changes. I remember last year I cut out gluten, I cut out dairy, I cut out caffeine. I also was taking iron supplements to try to help with the anemia. But honestly, I will admit that the diet change, even though that didn't last too long, I did kind of revert back to my old eating habits. But I did feel an improvement when I changed my diet, but the iron level didn't really necessarily change. And I thought, okay, I don't know why that is. So I was listening to a podcast. This is sometime last year when I was listening to it, and one of their sponsors was this company called Superpower, and they actually do extremely comprehensive blood tests. So I decided to do a private blood test instead of going through my family doctor. And this is not sponsored by any means. I did pay for this myself. And if you want to know the details of Superpower or anything like that, I'll leave a link below so you guys can check it out. But I wanted to share it with you because it gave me so much clarity that I never had before, even with my family doctors. And what I really also love about Superpower is that it gave you so much information of how to correct this. And my family doctor did not. They actually just told me that everything's fine. You're really not in the red anywhere, even though my iron was low and my cholesterol levels were high and my A1C was 1 point away from being diabetic. They did not provide me with the preventative care that I wanted. I was just, had the self-will to want to change this myself. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen over so you can see the screenshot of the landing page of Superpower, and you can see what I'm talking about here and how comprehensive and how detailed they are. I'll show you what they tested, what showed up for me that was imbalanced, and also the lifestyle, nutrition, and supplement recommendations that they provided me. And this is purely educational. This is based off of my own personal results. So everybody's going to be different. So when I went to get my blood taken, they took 6 vials of blood, and here were the blood markers that they showed. Now you get a list of everything, but if you filter through it, you can see what is kind of like in the red zone, what needs work. So for me, it was my ferritin levels, it was my vitamin D, my cholesterol, and my hemoglobin. And I think the biggest thing for me that I learned is that my iron intake wasn't the actual problem. It was the way that my body was storing the iron. So when I was taking that iron supplement last year, it was basically like pouring water in a cup that had a bunch of holes in it. So you weren't actually getting the benefit of it, and definitely explained why those supplements were not helping me at all. So the cool thing is once you're looking at all the deficiencies or where you need some work on, they do have recommendations for specific supplements. And I really like the way that they explain why each supplement is recommended and how it supports the body. I would say the only downside is that I did get the vitamins or in supplements off of their website. The one, which was the ferritin supplement, this was actually sold out. So I did have to get this one off Amazon, which if you have the membership with Superpower, it's like $3 cheaper to get it off of their website than compared to getting it off Amazon. So that was really cool. You're saving money getting it through them. But I got the ferritin, I got the omega supplements, the omega-3 supplements, and then I got a magnesium supplement. These omega-3 supplements are huge. That's like the only thing I don't like. I really don't like a giant pill that's like the size of it. It's a pretty big pill. The one downside that I have to say is like my only complaint is that when I ordered these, of course, the ferritin I ordered off Amazon, this one came to me first. These two came to me together, but I'm also waiting on 2 more supplements and they're not here yet. So it didn't all come all at once. They're kind of coming sporadically, but you know, that's okay because overall I will have the supplements. Now, another cool thing though that I really liked was the nutrition tabs. So here is where they outline any type of dietary guidance. And for me, the Mediterranean diet is what they recommended. And what was interesting is that I already intuitively was getting interested into the Mediterranean diet back last year because I was getting interested in like all these like fish and all these like fresh vegetables and foods and all that. And I was like, holy crap, like I was intuitively already going that route anyway. There's also another tab for lifestyle changes, and they give you the recommendations. For me, it was like brisk walking, strength training twice a week, making sure that I get enough sleep because as a mom, I feel like I am very sleep deprived. So going to bed earlier is definitely something I need to do. And also stress regulation, which all directly impact your nervous system, and that is essential for your intuitive clarity. Now, low iron storage, low vitamin D, low or high blood sugar imbalances can all affect your energy, your mental clarity, your emotional regulation, and your nervous system stability. And again, these are the same systems that your intuitive perceptions rely on. And why I am sharing all this with you right now is because I'm planning on making this series to track throughout over the next year of how correcting these deficiencies are affecting my intuition and my mediumship, especially in my readings and how they are evolving. And with client consent, I will be sharing real examples of my readings and my development over time. And just to be clear, this is not to prove anything. This is just to show you what is possible when your health and your intuition are aligned. So before we go ahead and close out, if you are intuitive, if you're interested in psychic or mediumship development, if you're empathic, or just spiritually sensitive and you struggled with fatigue or brain fog or inconsistencies, then this series is definitely going to be for you. And if you want to follow this journey, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm actually on my journey of reaching 1,000 subscribers. We are so close. I would like for you to be a part of the below 1K family before I go on this like little celebration. So just be sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. I will be sharing what changes, what improves, and also what I learn along the way. All right. See you in the next episode.